Hi, welcome to Prime Recap. Powerful monks with the help of the Monkey King must face an army of magical creatures that threaten to destroy mankind. Today we will recap the story of the movie, WuKong, Immortal Demon Slayer, from 2017. In the distant past, during a celestial war, the heavens used a machine called the Astrolabe of Fate to cause immense catastrophes on Earth, but this left the Mountain of Flowers in ruins, the very home of the Monkey Demon. Our main character is the old acquaintance WuKong, who arrives at the Academy of the Immortals, where a master selects those worthy of paradise. But instead of attending the ceremony, he steals food from the kitchen, not letting the captain receive his food. The man intimidates the girl and makes matters worse. Just as he is about to attack the girl with his staff, a young apprentice named Wanlian blocks the madman's blow. This only makes the boss angrier, and Wanlian is hit by the staff and ends up to the other side of the room. However, the captain gets a supreme kicking by another master named Azi, who humiliates him in front of everyone. The man becomes enraged, charges his powers, and summons his guards to attack the girl, but they are easily pushed aside by WuKong, who grabs the captain and kicks him, breaking the whole room to pieces. Several elite guards in armor enter the room and surround WuKong. Only in a very unexpected and demented way, he summons his weapon from inside his ear, which turns into a staff made of lava. The soldiers set out to attack the monkey, but he invokes the fire powers of his staff, which causes a huge explosion that hurls and incinerates the enemies in the air. General Hua of the Heavenly Army is notified of the fighting at the ceremony and sends her right-hand man, the ninja Tian, to take control of all that chaos for her. WuKong looks at the fallen soldiers on the ground and smiles with satisfaction, but realizes the danger that is approaching when the ninja Tian comes flying in to attack him. WuKong manages to counterattack, but the numerous daggers block any direct attack by the monkey. The Blade Master uses a throwing skill, which summons hundreds of daggers and hurls them toward WuKong, who transforms into a giant tornado, composed mainly of deadly blades. WuKong noticed that there was no way to get rid of it, so he slams his stick into the ground, and makes it grow like a huge fire log to the roof. He kicks the colossal weapon toward Tian, breaking the barrier of flying blades. The dagger ninja dodges the attack, but WuKong grabs the staff and hurls it at his opponent, forcing Tian to dodge with a leap. Azi tells them to stop, but WuKong can no longer dodge the blow that is heading toward the woman at full speed. The weapon hits the girl, but she seems to have blocked it with only one finger. However, we notice that another mysterious man blocked the attack using one hand, a warrior named Erlang. The man reveals his right arm that possesses divine powers and delivers a brutal punch to the staff, throwing it at WuKong, who is able to completely destroy the weapon. WuKong retracts his staff and leaps into the air, planning to destroy his opponent with a lethal attack, but Erlang easily dodges it and lands a devastating punch that goes right through his opponent into the walls of the place. The temple guards were able to capture the monkey demon and lock him up in a cell, while the leader of the masters apologizes incessantly to General Hua for the whole mess. Azi also arrives and starts complaining because his friend Erlang has also been arrested alongside WuKong, since he is the one who really solved the problem. The general explains that Erlang disobeyed her orders, as she only ordered the ninja Tian to resolve the situation. Azi is the general's daughter, but their relationship is clearly strained, as the girl does not like her mother's habit of standing up against everything and everyone. WuKong and Erlang are locked in the same cell. The monkey complains about how the previous battle was unfair, as he fought alone against two opponents. He demands to fight Erlang again, but when the monk refuses, WuKong begins to insult Erlang's mother, previously punished for having had an affair with a mortal. This infuriates the monk, and just before they start fighting again, the general arrives at the prison along with Tian. She releases Erlang and tells him to wait for her at the council, while WuKong continues to complain about why his rival was released. The general summons a gold crown and puts it on the prisoner. She starts singing and the crown shrinks more and more, causing immense pain to WuKong, who lets out terrible screams on the floor. With that unbearable pain he ends up fainting. She gives her daughter the scepter that can control the crown and tells Azi not to leave the demon alone. WuKong begins to dream about his past, revealing to us that he was actually the demon monkey created by the Heartstone. The deity took pity on the young man and saved him from death, but also sealed his powers within his human form to save him from the wrath of the gods. General Hua lectures Erlang about his reluctance to give up his human emotions, which prevents him from opening his third eye, which would make him even more powerful. She tells him to forget his mother and Azi, so that he can become a true deity. WuKong wakes up with Azi right in front of him laughing and swears that he will regain his freedom by removing that damn crown. He yells at her in anger, but when Azi takes out the magic scepter, WuKong already bows to the girl, so that he doesn't feel that same absurd pain again. The monkey goes to a seminar where the master shows the students how the heavens work. They cross the bridge that separates the mortal realm, where they discover that they will lose their powers once they fall into those waters. The room after the bridge leads to the astrolabe of fate, where every decision of the mortals are controlled by the machine. General Hua starts lecturing the crowd about the history of heaven, and purposely creates a trigger by talking about the annihilation of Flower Mountain in order to test the true purpose of WuKong being there. The monkey demon is furious upon hearing the woman's merciless speech, but before he can launch any attack, Zi interrupts her mother and says that he disagrees with her. She argues that heaven should represent justice, and questions how can destroying someone's house represent a just and kind act. The general states that everything is done according to the astrolabe of fate, which is final justice. After purposely angering the monkey demon, General Hua confirms that the demon that attacked the heavens earlier still lives inside WuKong, and says that Tian must retrieve the stone by eliminating WuKong. WuKong manages to trick Wanlian and knocks him out, being able to get the keys that give access to the councils. He jumps onto the bridge of fate, planning to destroy the astrolabe, thus freeing the mortals, but Erlang appears blocking the way with his immense sword, and warning that he will not let him break the laws. He draws his sword and attacks the monkey demon, striking the staff and freezing the lava weapon. The monk throws WuKong to the ground, and continues to attack him with quick and powerful blows, but the demon dodges most of them. The fight of the two begins to damage the bridge, which causes a storm to arise. Zi realizes that something is wrong, when she finds Wanlian in the kitchen, already unconscious, and without his keys. Tian joins the fight against WuKong on the general's orders, and as a duo, they manage to subdue the legendary monkey. Zi arrives at the bridge with Wanlian and again tries to end the fight, but WuKong knocks the staff to the ground and increases its size, which completely destroys the structure. They all plummet from the sky next to the giant staff and crash into the mortals' earth like meteors. The group survives the fall, but they don't know where they are, but Tian realizes that they are on the ancient mountain of flowers. If all the destruction wasn't enough, the fight keeps rolling on, but soon they realize that their powers are gone after they fall off the bridge of fate. Their struggles are interrupted when a large cloud begins to form above that village where they have fallen. The villagers take shelter inside their homes, frightened by the creature approaching from the sky. The monster starts sucking the villagers into that huge eye of the hurricane. Tian sees a child outside and, to his surprise, a woman runs to protect the boy from danger. He runs to save them and gets them safely inside, but is grabbed by the black cloud demon and pulled toward the eye. Before Tian can be completely consumed, WuKong holds him by the arm. Zi shoots the cloud demon with an ice arrow that Wanlian created, causing the monster to retreat thanks to the effect of the ice. The next morning, WuKong wakes up and realizes that he has been tied up by Zi to prevent further fights between the group. She tells WuKong and Erlang that they have to help the villagers, because the people have suffered a lot, and they believe that they are deities sent by the gods. The two refuse at first, but after seeing with their own eyes the chaos the residents are facing, they decide to capture the evil cloud demon and save the people with a team. Tian explains that the cloud used to be an ally of the heavens, but turned away from the light as it was corrupted by the auras of the demons in the ruins. It has taken all the water from the village, causing a terrible drought and preventing any crops from growing. They plan to trick the monster and capture it by projecting a sunset and weaken it by firing ice bombs at a bamboo contraption. The people put all the cloths in their reddish hue, forming a pattern on the clotheslines, and soon the sky starts to turn dark, meaning that the monster had been summoned again. They start shooting ice arrows into the sky, but this only makes the creature even more angry, temporarily retreating. Tian grabs the torch and throws it over the fabric clotheslines, creating the meager illusion of a sunset that is able to reveal the true form of the creature in the skies. A black cloud dragon. The demon comes closer and WuKong takes the opportunity to load his cannon and shoot the demented one directly in the face. The monster turns into a huge block of ice and collapses towards the village where Tian captures it. People began to applaud, celebrating the rain coming from the heavens after years. Late at night, the villagers gather to celebrate their victory against the demon, but Wanlian senses that something is wrong when he notices that some ice particles are mysteriously forming in the air around the entire camp. He notices a mysterious creature in the background, which descends in front of everyone with a dark aura enveloping its body. The creature attacks Wanlian and throws him against a house. People panic and run for cover from yet another new monster. The shadow creature invades the villagers' shelter and bizarrely starts summoning ice projectiles from the air, shooting at people. More of those warriors appear and hit Tian this time, with countless fragments of ice on his body. WuKong notices something wrong in the air and runs towards the center of the city, but when they enter the temple, they realize that all the inhabitants have already been completely murdered. Erlang also arrives and is shocked by what has happened. They look at Wanlian, who seems to be no longer coping with his injuries, and about to pass away, and the boy apologizes for not having been able to save the villagers. A legion of assassins arrives outside the building, and WuKong sets out to complete his revenge. But guys, they don't even have to move, and fire several ice projectiles at the monkey demon, piercing WuKong, who is severely wounded. The general appears and says that the efforts of the warriors are useless in the face of fate, because the astrolabe decided long ago that these people deserved death. She tells them to give up their hopes because everything is predestined. WuKong screams in rage as the general knocks him out with a final strike. Azi wakes up in a prison cell together with Erlang, who eventually surrenders to the rules of heaven. He tells the girl that they were wrong for trying to save all those villagers and disobeying fate. WuKong is in the deepest level of the prison, where he is constantly suffering from unimaginable pain, but refuses to die, as he waits for Azi's return. The girl goes to the monkey demon and WuKong smiles at her arrival. Trying to make WuKong give up and put him out of his misery, Azi tells him that there is no more to fight for, since he has lost everything. The mountain of flowers will never return and they can't beat fate. Feeling a deep sadness and totally hopeless, WuKong finally gives up on life and slowly turns to dust, dropping the heartstone and the handkerchief he had been carrying all this time. Azi promises that she will finish her friend's mission, then throws the handkerchief on the mountain of flowers, symbolizing respect for WuKong. Erlang takes the heartstone to the general, and after abandoning all emotions, he receives a divine power after activating his third eye. The more experienced deity takes the handkerchief that fell from the sky, and goes to argue with WuKong in this sort of purgatory. WuKong imagines he has lost at everything in his life, but is refuted by the old man. Although he lost the heartstone, it also allowed him to leave his mortal body. He must now decide whether to surrender or fight with all his inner power. WuKong begins to raise the giant staff symbolizing his power, and his weapon begins to ignite the flame of monkey fury again. The staff breaks through the ground and rises into the air, wiping out the entire structure of the place. The monkey demon emerges from the dust and assumes its true form. He releases the evil cloud he had imprisoned, using it as a transport in the heavens. WuKong lands at the entrance to the heavenly realm. He crashes into the huge temple, causing a huge explosion that blasts all the guards with a wave of fire and knocks out their captain. WuKong levitates his staff and lunges at the soldiers, coming at them with vicious bites, tearing off their limbs in brutality on behalf of the dead villagers. Meanwhile, Azi betrays her mother by refusing to accept the tyranny and attacks the astrolabe, attempting to break it into pieces. After surviving the attacks, Tian arrives to fight alongside WuKong, and so they fight a battle together, combining their skills to destroy the army. The soldiers are easily defeated and turn to nothing but dust. The general prevents her daughter from sabotaging the machine, then holds her by the neck, and snatches the scepter from her chest, throwing it far away. WuKong runs into the room and grabs the girl, and Tian prepares to fight the general to the death. He throws several blades at his opponent, but she easily blocks them with a spinning iron shield. The general then throws the blades back at Tian, and slams him against the wall. WuKong sees Azi mortally wounded and tries to comfort her, but she tells him not to feel bad, and that she only wishes they had spent more time together. WuKong is in a rage. The monkey demon takes Azi's tear-streaked crown and incorporates it into the ends of his staff. He walks toward the general, wanting to avenge everyone she has murdered during her lifetime. The woman builds a wall of metal shields around herself, but WuKong attacks repeatedly with the staff and manages to pierce her blockade. The general is forced to teleport them out and begins to attack WuKong with several kunais summoned by her, but the demon shatters them with extreme speed. At that moment, WuKong realizes that Erlang is here and is knocked down by him. The monk no longer feels emotions and has chosen to abandon the memories of his friends. Using his maximum power of the third eye, the two attack each other and fight furiously, an epic battle, but Erlang again manages to throw the fighting monkey back. He summons a gigantic ice weapon that hits WuKong, who smashes him against the rocks of a large mountain. The demon counterattacks by throwing his colossal staff, but Erlang interrupts him and proceeds to pierce the staff with his spear, destroying it piece by piece, until it hits WuKong right in the abdomen. The monkey throws away his weapons and the two begin to fight with their fists using all their strength, completely collapsing the battlefield. When the dust settles, General Hua walks toward Erlang, but realizes that something is wrong. The man begins to recall his memories after hitting WuKong and feels Azi's presence inside the creature's heart. He cries as he notices that the girl had died and opens his eyes, refusing to forget Azi and pretend to be an idiot puppet. Seeing that Erlang has betrayed her will, the general decides to defeat them both, using all the matter around her to form colossal armor like a titan. WuKong recovers from the ground and summons a fireball that transforms into his flame staff. He throws it at the giant and jumps on the gun as it gets bigger and bigger. And he runs up to the general using the weapon as a bridge. Erlang also starts running and jumps on the floating rocks, one by one, until he reaches his target. He jumps up and prepares his final attack, while WuKong jumps under the giant staff and prepares to use it against the Titan. Erlang hits the monster right in the face while WuKong manages to hit it right in the middle of the face. The giant staff breaks the Titan in half, turning the monster into tiny shards, and the general explodes in a flash. The duo returns to the temple after finally winning this battle. Erlang tells WuKong that Ozzy is the one who saved him this time, but their next battle will only cease when one of them is dead. WuKong turns around and accepts the challenge, and goes on his way in peace. Erlang will become the new celestial general, while WuKong and his flying cloud go after those who deny their destiny and wage war against the deities for centuries on end. So what did you think of this movie? Leave it in the comments below. And if you liked the video, please like and subscribe for more movie recaps. See you next time.